Hi.
Hi, could you raise your right hand?
Yes.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name.
My name is Reina Rubio or Reina Gale. Sorry.
All right, state you may proceed.
Hello. How did you become familiar with Thanos?
I was on Facebook and I had seen a video of Thanos on his outside porch. And then that's how I came to know him. It was posted in the Doodles of San Antonio Facebook group.
Are you a member of that group?
Yes, ma'am.
Why are you a member of that group?
Just because I'm a dog groomer, so I get a lot of clients through that.
When you saw the video, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
What did you observe in that video?
I observed.
I'm going to object to this line of questioning and the relevance of this witness. We've already admitted the video. It's in the purview of the judge to review the video. She's no more qualified to review the video than the judge or the trier of fact.
All right, so what's your legal objection?
Is relevance.
Sustain.
Okay, Miss Rubio, did you ever come into contact with Miss Miller?
No, the only form that we spoke through was her Ring door camera, but I never saw her like face to face.
But you did communicate with her.
Yes, that's correct.
Why did you communicate with her?
I wanted to see if I could, I guess, take Thanos from her, buy him from her. And she actually did agree to that.
Did you offer her money for Thanos?
Yes.
How much did you offer her?
It was 300 at first. And then we agreed to that.
So after y'all made this initial agreement, you stated you first offered $300, is that correct?
Yes, that's
And you
correct.
said that the price changed, is that also correct?
That is correct.
What did the price change to?
She said she had gotten Thanos for $1,000 and that he was an emotional support animal, and that he's updated on all his shots and everything. So she would take $750 minimum. And then so I said, let me see what I can do. And then so we agreed to that. But she had also stated that she had him posted on Craigslist for a while for $1,000.
And did you have the $1,000 to pay for the dog?
I did not.
So what did you do?
I had posted the video to my personal Facebook in hopes to raise money in order to get Thanos out of that home.
Did Miss
I'm going to object to relevance.
Overruled.
Miller ever ask you to take the post down?
Yes, she did. She said she would give me Thanos as long as if I took the post down.
Did you take the post down?
Once I did raise enough money, I did take it down. And then, it had gotten a lot of, I guess, a lot of people noticed it. And so a lot of other people were posting that video. And she would just wanted me to tell everyone to take it down.
And did you tell others to take the video down?
I didn't know anyone. There was a lot of random people posting it.
At any point with your conversations with Miss Miller, did she ask you to stop contacting her?
Yes.
When did she ask you to do that?
It was after Thanos was picked up by the Animal Care Services. Or actually it was before. She knew that Animal Care Services was going to go pick up the dog.
Your Honor.
And
Objection.
Yes.
That she has no way of knowing
What's your legal objection?
that she has no personal knowledge of what someone else believes.
All right, and so your legal objection?
Uh,
Is it hearsay?
Hearsay.
Sustain.
Sorry.
No problem. It happens.
Did you continue contacting Miss Miller after she asked you to stop?
no, but she had contacted me.
Did you continue posting about her and or Thanos after she asked you to cease communication?
No.
At any point, did Miss Miller inform you that she was being threatened as a result of this video?
Yes.
What did you tell her in response to that?
I told her she could reach out to authorities if she really fears for her life, but I mean, it's honestly out of my control.
At any point, did you have malicious intent toward Miss Miller or her family?
No.
Did you wish ill will upon Miss Miller or her family?
No.
Did you agree with those that were threatening Miss Miller?
No.
Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Yes, so you're telling that your testimony today is that you post a video to make money off of a video of a animal that you claim was being harmed?
Not claiming it, there was video proof, and it was to raise money to adopt Donna since she raised the price.
And so, how much money did you make off this video?
I didn't take any money actually, since she went ahead and gave up on contacting me for Thanos. I didn't collect any, but there were people willing to donate.
So you just said your testimony was that you had raised enough money.
There were people willing to give me money if I had Thanos, which I never even saw him. So I did not attain any money.
And you claim that the reason that you took down the video was because Miss Miller asked you to, correct?
Yes.
So you were aware that the video that you posted, that people were saying stuff so heinous she needed to be killed.
Yeah, I was not aware of that being commented on my post, although I can't control what other people say or do. Unfortunately, she decided to do this heinous act on her patio in public, and there's precautions for that, there's consequences for that.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Any other questions?
No for this witness, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record, please.
Havana Janae Miller.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
I asked you if there was anything that you wanted to say to the court before you were sentenced, and you said that what was your response to that?
There is, that I do want to say something.
Okay, and this is your opportunity to speak to the judge. What would you like to say?
So, Your Honor, I would like to say that I completely understand that my actions were not okay. I did allow a moment of overwhelmed, being, frustrated to take over me. I do take this whole thing as a learning lesson, and I'm sorry that the puppy had to be part of this learning lesson, but I have learned to control myself, to have more patience. I'm sorry to everyone involved, including the puppy, even the people that have been against me in this, social media, the people that came in today. I'm sorry that they had to see that side of me, because I know that that's not who I am. And I'm sorry to my mom. I'm sorry to my family, my nieces and nephews that were threatened due to this. And I know that that's not something that I would ever do again. I'm not a troublemaker. I go to school, I go to work, and I spend time with my family. I'm not a danger to society. And again, I allowed a moment of frustration to take over me. And I'm sorry that I had to learn these things this way. It shouldn't have taken this. And I'm sorry that it did. And again, I'm sorry that the dog had to be part of this learning lesson for me.
Okay, and I'd also like to ask, you are employed right now, correct?
I am.
How many hours a week do you work?
Right now, I'm working 50 hours a week.
And in addition to being employed, are you going to school?
Yes, I am.
And what are you going to school for?
I just don't feel comfortable saying that only because of social media.
Okay,
But I would tell the judge, I could write it down.
no, it's okay. And in regards to that, are you currently taking classes?
I am.
Are you, the state has asked for a jail sanction. You're aware of that? And, in regards to that jail sanction, is there a reason why you do not think that that would be appropriate here? Okay, and why is that?
Because like I said, I have learned this would be a major setback for me. I get all A's. I get A+. I have a 4.0 GPA. It would set me back on something that I know that I'm not going to cause trouble. I'm not going to cause trouble to anyone. And it would also set me back with my job. I need my job to pay for my school. So it would just set me back, and I'm not a danger to anyone.
And at this time, I'm going to pass the witness, Shauna.
I have no questions for Ms. Miller, Judge.
I do.
Yes.
So, do you currently own any pets?
No, ma'am.
So tell me, what was going on in your life at that time that it came to this point?
At that time, And still to this day, I have been grieving. I'm grieving my dad.
Mhm.
It's hard for me to talk about it and hold it in a lot. And again, that doesn't give me a reason to do that to the puppy.
Mhm.
But I did allow it to take over me. I had been up all night, but trying to potty training, and I had got up again early that morning, and it just at that time, that's what was really, really heavy on my mind. Of course, there's other things, and but that's the main thing.
So did your father pass before or after you purchased this animal?
Before.
All right, so he passed before and you decide to take on a pet in your life. I don't understand how you go from that to this, and it's a puppy.
Right.
And when puppies use the restroom inside the house, you know whose fault that is?
It's mine, but that was not the case.
So then why were you being frustrated with?
I was frustrated that morning because I had taken him out to use the restroom
Mhm.
and it was really cold. Again, this is not his fault. It's mine. But he was doing that thing that dogs do, like when you're trying to get them, they're not ready to go inside, and he kept running away every time I would go towards him, running away and playing around. And I was personally not in a playing mood. And I took him upstairs. That's not when that happened. But then I was trying to leash train him, getting used to his leash. And I saw online that to leash train him, you can put the harness on them, put the leash on the door, so that way they can get used to it. Of course, giving them room to still walk, but right there. And I guess he had got frustrated with that, and he went through that, and that was what caused me to do that. Again, it's not a justifiable
So
reason.
why did you have him?
And here it is, the classic courtroom moment where emotion meets accountability. Judge Boyd is dissecting every detail: sleepless nights, grief over a father's passing, a tiny 3-pound puppy. It all comes into play when weighing punishment versus rehabilitation. But think about it, how much should personal hardship factor into legal consequences? This is where the law gets human.
How you get to that point. First, you've taken on a puppy. Your father, as you stated, had already passed, but you decided to take this puppy on into your home. So you took on a puppy that wasn't trained. I still don't understand how you get to the puppy bites through the leash, and you're saying it took 30 minutes for him to bite through the leash. So you had the puppy outside on the balcony in the cold, because you said it was cold outside, strapped by a leash,
But-
and he bites through the leash. So I'm trying to understand. Because I will tell everybody, I'm inclined to follow the agreement that you've reached. Now I'm trying to consider, because the state is asking for jail time. So I'm trying to weigh things here, because my intention, if I'm placing somebody on probation, I'm not trying to ruin their life where they can't go to school or they lose their job. But rehabilitation sometimes is just not rehabilitation. Sometimes it's punishment thrown in, right? And it appears that your punishment may be, the fact that you're on probation. And I have to make a consideration whether I give you deferred or give you a conviction. All right, so that's what I'm trying to understand. How did you get to that point? Because you're saying it's cold outside, but you have a puppy on the balcony. And how big was this puppy? Is it one of those puppies that sit in your hand?
He wasn't that small, but like they said, he was about 3 pounds.
All right, so how small?
He was like,
All right, so you have a puppy who's sitting on the balcony in the cold, strapped to a door or whatever, because you say you're trying to teach him how to be on a leash.
again, I got that from online. It wasn't punishment. I was genuinely.
Oh, no, I
trying to
understand
teach him.
I understand you're saying you got that online, but I'm trying to get to the point of you place him on the balcony. He's been running outside, playing around. You don't have time to play. You got other things on your mind. You just want that puppy. Do your business for the love of all that's holy. And I'm taking you inside. and I don't know, maybe puppies yapping around in the house. And then you're like, you know what? Go out on the balcony, learn to be on a leash.
So outside on the balcony, I did have his crate with blankets. Whenever I would go out there, he felt warm. He wasn't shivering or anything.
Mhm.
But to answer your question, Your Honor, getting to that point, I would just felt overstimulated. I felt frustrated, and I just, at that point, I just, like, again, I just let my emotions get the best of me at that point. I do feel that from January to now, I have changed. I'm not saying I'm a completely new person just yet, but I have learned to control my emotions better. Don't just get angry so quickly, or, actually speak about what's going on in my mind, so that way I don't hold it in, and things like that happen where I lash out. And I allowed that to happen
All
that
right,
day.
and what is this about the witnesses testifying that they wanted to buy the dog from you and then you're increasing the price? What's that about?
So that was because when she came to my door on the Ring doorbell, I did say, as she said, that 2 cops had already came and checked on the dog and he was completely fine. She mentioned, well, I don't feel comfortable. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight if you don't give me the dog. And I'm saying, basically, that's my dog. I don't have to give you the dog just because you want my dog. And so long story short, I was, frightened by the fact that she was threatening with the police. So I said, okay, well, if you don't get police involved, because I knew she had a video and she had it posted on her Facebook. At the time, I didn't know it was her Facebook. She just told me that she saw it on this neighborhood website or neighborhood app. And she told me that she saw the video online. I was asking, well, how did you even find me? And she said that she looked at the balconies and she did see the dog out there on the balcony.
Let's get to the money, the exchanging of money or not exchanging of money.
The money
The
part.
witness testified, and
Right.
you can correct me if I'm wrong, right? But I recall the witness testifying that you all had maybe agreed on a price. Then after you agreed on the price, then you upped the price. And then
Yes.
she said she had to post some video in order to raise funds so that she could purchase the dog. So let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Okay, that did happen. And she did offer me 300 because, like I said, I was frightened that the police were going to come. So I was willing at that point to do that. But then I thought about it and I said, I didn't want to just give up my dog. I did love my dog. And
So then why did you increase the price?
because I felt that if I had paid $1,000 just to get him, I had done the shots and everything for him. He was up to date on everything. I had bought him, all the supplies that he needed at home, food, things like that. So I just felt if she really wanted the dog, then she could at least pay the minimum price of him, which was $1,000 to get him.
All right. And did you talk to family members about what was going on in regards to this case and what was going on in your life?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tell them, hey, I need some help? Can anybody take the dog?
No, I did not. I don't have people that I believe would have been willing to do that
Okay.
at the time.
All right. Any other questions?
A couple follow-up questions.
Sure.
Okay, your dad, you say passed away after you got the dog? Before, how long before?
2 years,
2 years? Okay.
not even like almost 2 years at that time.
Do you know what the date was that he passed away?
He passed away June 17th of 2022. No,
Of
yeah,
2023?
June 17th of 2023. Sorry, it was because he was brain dead and then they donated his parts, so he wasn't actually dead.
Okay. And so, did you adopt the dog or get the dog as a way to cope with any kind of mental health issues?
I did, yes.
And during this time period, were you getting much sleep when you had the dog?
I wasn't.
How long did you have the dog?
About a month or 2 months.
Okay. And so you were a month or two with no sleep, correct?
Mhm.
At this time. Do you think that your lack of sleep and your mental health situation put you in a position to not use better judgment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. At this time, Your Honor, I pass the witness.
All right, so I can tell you your versions of events, and I understand what you're saying, and maybe you just skipped over a little bit. In the PSI, your versions of events are, I was tired and let my emotions get the best of me. I was at home at the apartment. I had just been up early as I had a late night. I was trying to potty train a pet that was involved in this case. I saw the dog's harness. I got them. I had taken them out and they didn't go. They had an accident. I got upset as the new harness was chewed up. All right. Is there any other questions? Any other witnesses?
I don't have any other questions.
All right. I'll have you all come back at 1:30 and I'll make my decision at that time.
Okay.
State versus Dejanay Miller, Havana. Can I have parties re-announced, please?
Megan Gowrie for the state.
Jody Sawyer's the defense.
All right. Is there any other evidence to be presented by either side?
For the state.
And not by the defense.
All right. Court will hear brief argument.
Thank you. Your Honor, first off,
Yes.
Judge, I'll reserve, then you look at.
All right. Go for it.
first off, we're not condoning the behavior, but I think we need to keep it in perspective. I understand that a video caused sensational backlash, but the reality is there's no visible injuries to the dog. The dog was not physically maimed in any way. And when you think about that, in our justice system, we don't really honor an eye for an eye.
Mhm.
But in this case, probably the more appropriate punishment, in addition to having been humiliated socially. And that is a huge thing. This has been a very difficult situation for her to live through, being threatened and all of that. But, it's a flaccid leash. And when I went to high school, they did corporate punishment. I don't see, if this is so egregious, then the punishment really should match the crime and have her ordered to be struck 17 times with the same leash. That's more appropriate. But I disagree with the fact that the state is asking for a jail sanction here. This young lady has no prior criminal history. She got straight A's. She is employed. And again, like I said, neither she nor I are condoning her behavior. Where she's taking responsibility for it, but it needs to be kept in perspective in regards to her being a first-time offender. No rehabilitation or mental health has been given to her at this stage. So I believe that would be appropriate. So on the scale of this particular type of offense and the things that we see in our practice, you and I have, I think, been doing this for over 20 years. We have seen egregious cases that fall on the scale that are very offensive. And while this is not something that we condone, I do not think it falls on the extreme of this type of offense, even if the court believes the elements were met. I am asking the court to grant her deferred adjudication, give her the ability to prove herself. I believe that with no prior criminal history, we shouldn't jump into any kind of jail time or prison time for that matter. And I'm asking that the court order anger management and all the things that the pre-sentence investigation we're talking about, with the exception of a jail sanction. I also want to point out that in the pre-sentence investigation, she stated that the way that she was raised was discipline was love. It was synonymous, that if you weren't disciplined, you weren't loved. And I'm not saying that, again, no one's trying to excuse the behavior, but I think that's an educational thing. She was treated the same way growing up, and it's something that we do need as a society address, and some of maybe the way we see things, and maybe even the way that society sees things and does things openly, and does it and is condoning openly to animals. Like, for instance, shock collars that are sold. There's things that our society accepts, and while I'm not saying that what she did is acceptable, I just don't think it rises to the level of being as egregious as it may have appear on the video. based off of the actual result. And I believe this is a result-oriented crime. And so we're asking the court to give community deferred adjudication.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, state.
Your Honor, state is asking for community supervision with the 180-day jail sanction based on the fact this is an egregious act. Thanos was a 3-month-old puppy that was defenseless, and although he's not verbal, cannot speak with words, that video speaks for itself. Ms. Miller testified here today that it was cold outside, and he initially was outside for leash training. When she came into the presence of officers, she told them he was outside because he had soiled in his kennel. She told you today in court that he was out there with blankets, but as you can see in the videos, that's not the case. She initially lied to officers during the welfare check. She said nothing was wrong and that others had dogs in the unit, knowing full well that the officers were aware of the fact that she had done that because they saw the video prior to making contact with her. Her acts were callous. She then agreed to sell the dog to Miss Rubio. First, the price was $300, then it went up and up again once she realized that it would be an inconvenience for her to not break even. And I would assert inconvenience would be a theme here today. Miss Miller states that she cannot do a jail sanction because it would be an inconvenience to work. It would be an inconvenience to her life, but that inconvenience should have been thought of prior to even getting a dog for ownership. She testified that unfortunately her father passed away in 2023, but this incident would occur a year and 6 months later, approximately. Pet ownership is very important. Judge, we need to afford animals that cannot speak for themselves and all things that can't speak for themselves great protection. And so we would ask that you do community supervision, even in transport with Officer Park. She was making light of the situation, stating she would remember that song for the rest of her life. But I would urge this court to show Miss Miller that she shouldn't remember the song that was playing during transport, but rather she should remember the cries of Thanos. Because of this, Judge, we would ask that you consider the totality of the evidence presented to you and sentence her to community supervision for 10 years, as well as allowing no pets, anger management, the pause course, and 108 days of jail.
All right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. When I have cases before me, I look at each case individually, right? Because somebody will come before me, and I've had people argue before me, oh, there's somebody who had an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon where they shot somebody, they got probation, didn't get jail time. So I always try to remind people that each case is different. That's why I look at cases individually. I don't try to figure out, oh, this is what happened in this case, or this is what happened in this case. I just have to deal with the facts that are before me, right? And I understand everything that your attorney said. I understand that you don't have any criminal history. I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I can't. But these are your only choices. And I'm going to give you a chance to discuss it with your attorney before you decide. All right? So here's your choice. One, I will either give you deferred adjudication, and I will give you deferred adjudication. I don't think 10 years deferred. I'll give you 8 years deferred adjudication. Or with that deferred adjudication, you're going to do some jail time. Or you will have a conviction and I won't give you any jail time. Because sometimes, well, not sometimes, really all of the time, cases are about rehabilitation, but there's a form of punishment in it. So your only choices are, I'll give you deferred adjudication, but you'll do some jail time as a condition, or either you'll have a conviction and you won't have any jail time as a condition. I'll give you a chance to discuss that with your attorney. State versus Havana Miller. The parties please re-announce.
Lauren Espinoza for the state.
Jody Sawyers for the defense.
All right, have you had a chance to speak with your attorney? And which do you prefer?
She would take the probation, the conviction.
All right. All right, so the court will find you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There's to be regular random UAs. Proof of employment within 30 days or full-time study within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. 150 hours of community service restitution. There's to be anger management. And I'm sorry, what is the class involving animals?
Pause.
All right. The pause class. There's to be no pet ownership. Now, what do I mean about no pet ownership? Not a pet, not a single pet, not even a goldfish. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
There's going to be field visits 1 time per month until further notice. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Probation. Is there anything else? Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Animals are helpless, right? And they depend on you to provide for them. And if you don't have the patience to have a pet, then guess what? You shouldn't have a pet. The end of story, because they depend on you for food and everything. And maybe people shouldn't be beating horses as they run around the track at full speed. I don't watch it, right? But our society doesn't equate racing a horse around the track with pets, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Bullfighting, should there be bullfighting? But they don't equate that with pets. Maybe one day they will, but for now they don't. And so you're not allowed to have any pets. And you're not allowed to babysit children. You're not allowed to do any of that. Do you understand? All right, there is a pause. Are you babysitting?
I have nieces and nephews and I've never done anything to them.
No, you're not allowed to babysit. And let me just explain to you why I'm saying that. Because your patience with your pet, you lost it. And at this point in time, you cannot babysit children at all. You understand?
Is that just during probation? Or
Yeah, I mean, I can only order what I can order and no gum chewing. I can only order what I can order while you're on probation. So for these 8 years, yeah, no babysitting. Okay?
I do have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes.
If I don't plan on it, but 8 years, I'll be almost 30. If I wind up pregnant or have my own child at that time, what was, what's the difference?
Here's my thing. I always tell people, let's not cross bridges until they're built.
No, it was just a
Yeah.
question.
No, that's what I'm saying. I can't see in the future. I don't know how you're going to be doing on probation.
Right, but would I be like in violation?
What she's saying at this point is she's gonna
Just don't
bring
look
it
at
and
it.
label it. If it becomes an issue, we will.
And your attorney can approach that on, because you can see there are many circumstances where you're telling me that. And then maybe it wouldn't be appropriate, but then if it wasn't appropriate, Child Protective Services would probably be involved, right?
Okay.
So I can't look into the future and see how you're going to do, but what I can tell you is we'll cross that bridge if we come to it, all right?
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.